Hi everyone, this is Nick here. I'm Black Chili on 2+2 and I'm a professional magician who performs in Asia as well as in Australia. A large part of my repertoire is card cheating, and I decided to make this concept of the week to help everyone run a better home game at home. So anyway, there are three periods where a cheater can cheat. That's called the stack, the cut and the deal. We'll start with the stack first. The stack begins when the cheater is given the deck of cards and he's asked to shuffle the deck. Now this is really dangerous when there's a two deck rotation going on at home, and I heard it's really popular, so please do not have two deck rotations at home. It's not worth it. So anyway, the cheater shuffles the deck and he does peeks and he arranges the cards in certain orders. It looks really convincing, but he's actually cheating all the way. Now here's an example of a peek. This is a top peek. You can see the top card, and this is followed by a bottom peek. Now as you can see, actually you don't really have to stack the cards because this little bit of information helps your pot odds and all that. So anyway, this is a double peek over here. Now it looks obvious from this angle because this is the cheater's angle, but from a regular angle you can't see anything. That was a top peek and this is a bottom peek. That's right, look at those cards in slow motion. This is exactly what you're seeing. Now keep in mind that this happens on the offbeats, and most people are always having fun during live games and they don't pay attention. Even on the video it's hard to spot. So anyway, in this situation, the cheater has spotted two aces on the flop and he wants to deal them to himself. What he does is he stacks the deck through a series of shuffles. Now it looks easy, but it's not, and yeah, don't bother trying it. So he cuts the deck, or he offers the cards to be cut, and he reverses the cut, which will be explained later. So anyway, there we go. He deals himself the ace of spades and the ace of clubs in a heads-up game. So this is another situation where he spots an ace on the flop. I think it was on the turn. It was the ace of spades. So this time he wants to set himself up for a bottom deal, and I will explain what a bottom deal is later. There you go. He gives the deck a very good, convincing set of cuts, and he offers the deck to be cut while he has the ace of spades palm in his hand. Now this ace of spades will be placed back into the deck once the deck is cut by someone else. This is how it's done. He picks up the deck and he places it on the bottom. So anyway, if you're ever suspicious about a cheater being in your game, always ask that the deck is scrambled, because the scramble is actually the safest way to prevent any cheating. Now we're going on to the cut. This is another period where the cheater can cheat. A lot of people say that cheaters cannot cheat in regular games, in home games, because the deck is cut by someone else. That is not true, because the cheater can always reverse the cut at any time. There, he just did it, and he has set up a cooler deck where he has a full house and the opponent has trips, top trips. There you go, ace deuce on the flop, and he has an ace deuce in his hand. That's a hop. It reverses the position of the deck, and it reverses the entire cut actually, and even in 5 times slow motion it's difficult to spot. Imagine how deadly it is when no one's looking. Now this is another situation. People say that when a cut card is used you cannot do a hop. That is complete garbage, because it can be done anytime. That the ace of spades was exposed to give you a better view, and the cut card still remains on the bottom. Now a savvy cheater who places the ace of spades on the top of the deck will be able to use a hop to his advantage once the deck is cut. So let's say he's in a 4-handed game and the ace of spades is on top of the deck. He can carry out a cover hop, which is a very difficult move, where the ace of spades is invisibly transported to the 4th from the top in a 4-handed game. Now this is something I would not like to expose. I cannot tell you what it's called because I don't want anyone doing this in a home game. It's really easy to do. What I'm actually doing is I'm setting up the deck, and this gives me the ability to cut to any point on the deck that I want. If I want the ace of spades, I can just cut it like that and I get it. Now the really scary thing about this is that I can give the deck to an unsuspecting mark, and the mark will cut to the ace as well. It sounds really freaky, but it can be done. So just to prove it, I have done this on my mom. Here's a video of that. At first I asked her to cut, I make her cut to the ace of spades, and after that I make a cut to, this is the ace of spades, and I make a cut to the ace of clubs after that. I was watching the challenge, and yeah, of course my mom isn't in on it. She's she's not a card shark or anything. I was watching the challenge and I realized that if I were a dealer there, I could completely mess up the game and, you know, make one player benefit for profit for myself or something, you know. So anyway, the way to cancel this is to cut the deck multiple times, so a cheater will not be able to do a hop or that cold deck that I just mentioned. So anyway, we're going to the deal. In this situation, I'm using a shiner. The shiner is another scary cheating mechanism where you will be able to look at every single person's whole cards. Yes, so you become a super user but in a live game, as you can see. And here I'm actually saying what the cards are before I turn them over, and this is not a marked deck. What I'm actually using is a shiner, and my shiner is a ring. This there are very few people in the world who can do this. I have practiced this to the point where I can use a ring. However, most people will be able to put an object in their hand and use that to reflect what card they're dealing. As you can see, it's any polished surface can be used. So if you're carrying out a home game, please ensure that no one has anything in their hands, and all jewelry should come off from their pinky finger. You should not allow them to have any jewelry on their pinky finger. So this is me demonstrating a second deal. The ace of spades is on top of the deck. I'm dealing the cards, and it turns out I have the ace of spades. The second deal gives you the ability to deal, to not deal the top card. So this is a bottom deal, and is actually much more deadly than the second deal, and it gives the cheater the ability to deal cards from the bottom of the deck whenever he wants. There are two aces on the bottom. There we go. Yep. So anyway, I want you to listen out for the bottom deal and the second deal. Actually, you can hear there's a slightly different sound, and this is the only way you can catch a bottom deal or a second deal. You can't catch it, you know, while it's going on because it's so fast. But if you listen for the sound, there's actually a slight swishing sound. The three cards I'm dealing outwards are not bottom deals, but the ones I'm dealing to myself are bottom deals. Listen carefully. Swish. Yeah, so that's the only way you can catch a bottom deal. So anyway, what I'm doing right now is dealing myself bottoms with the cards face up. It looks like I'm just pulling them out from mid-air. This is how convincing a bottom deal looks like. This is a practical use of that. There's the ace and queen of clubs I have in my hand, the cheater's hand, and he peeks at the following cards, the bottom and the top, and he realizes that there are two clubs there. So what he does is he second deals the burn card and deals himself the five of clubs. The king of clubs and the queen of spades were a bonus. And now he wants to bottom deal the next card, which is a club, to give himself a flush. So he burns a card and he just deals it straight out from the bottom. It looks really obvious from here, but check out what it looks like from a regular view. The ace of clubs has been put on the bottom of the deck. There we go. It is completely clean and it is impossible to spot. So now this is something I call the pineapple. Let's see whether you can tell what it is. There we go. Did you spot it? The pineapple is a very interesting move. This is a slow version of that. There we go. At this point I'm actually holding 4 cards. This is the exposed version. You can see the cards are just dropped directly onto the cheater's hand, and he pulls them up, and what happens is he marks them below the table before looking at his own cards. Yeah, so it pulls off, and there we go. He has the aces left. This was the exposed version, and this is a faster version. So remember, there are 3 periods where you can cheat. A cheater can cheat: the stack, the cut, and the deal. Now during the stack, always remember that it's okay to request for a card scramble. During the cut, you should always complete your cuts and cut the deck twice. And during the deal, please listen out for second and bottom deals and use a proper poker table. Always be vigilant. Right? Thank you 2+2 for watching this video, and if you follow the safeguards, you'll have a fair and square game.